My mom murmured, "This trip's only for the ones who matter." My brother smirked. "Way too upscale for you." I simply raised my glass and said, "Noted." That night, I wiped every booking and froze every account. When they arrived at the lodge, the concierge shook his head. "Sorry, no reservation under your name." Minutes later, my dad rang me up, voice boiling with rage. "Fix this, Adam." I took a slow sip of my coffee and replied, "Oh, I thought this trip was only for the ones who count." "You think you deserve it?" Ethan's voice cracked the dining room like a whip. His wine glass rattled against the polished oak table. "Ethan, sit down," Mom whispered, her napkin twisting like rope in her hands. "No," he snapped, pointing across the table at me. "Adam doesn't belong here. He's been living off us for years." My fork paused mid-air. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Dad's hand slammed the table. Silverware jumped. "Adam, your brother's asking a question. Did you take money from the account?" The chandelier above us flickered. Clara's lips pressed tight like she wanted to speak, but fear sealed her mouth. The air burned with accusations left hanging. "My name is Adam Hale. I'm 26. I've been the shadow in this house. The quiet one. Too quiet, maybe. But silence is safer. Silence has always been my weapon. For years, I've been blamed when something broke, ignored when something mattered, and used when something needed to be done. They think my quiet means weak. They don't see that silence is memory, and I've remembered everything." I leaned back in my chair, calm, while they fumed like wild dogs fighting for scraps. I know something they don't, something that's going to crack this family wide open. Family members introduced: Ethan Hale, 30, a lawyer who struts through life like the world was built for him. His smirk was practiced, his insults sharpened like knives. "You've always been a leech, Adam," he said, sipping his wine. "Mom should have cut you off years ago." Clara Hale, 23, pretends confidence, but she fidgets with her phone every time tension rises. She interrupts everyone, except Dad. She doesn't dare. "Stop, Ethan," Clara muttered, though her voice was thin like she wasn't sure who she was defending. Miriam Hale, my mother, always crying, always siding with whoever yells the loudest. She dabbed her wet eyes. "Can't we have one dinner in peace?" Richard Hale, my father, 61, cold, a man who speaks in orders, not words. He waved his hand dismissively. "Adam, don't waste our time. Admit what you did." I stayed silent, and in the silence I noticed Clara's eyes flicker. Guilty. She knew something. The fight shifted to the property, Grandpa's lodge in Vermont, the place we all pretended to love but only visited to argue. "That lodge belongs to me," Ethan declared. "I've already spoken to buyers." I raised an eyebrow. "Strange? I thought it wasn't yours to sell." Ethan's jaw clenched. Dad cut in. "Don't be clever, Adam. You've done nothing for this family. Ethan's carried the weight. That property stays with him." I let out a soft laugh. Carried the weight or carried the checkbook? The room stilled. Mom sniffled, whispering, "Don't start, Adam." But I wasn't starting. I was peeling. And beneath the surface, I knew something rotten waited. Then Clara whispered almost to herself, "He knows." Her words weren't meant to be heard. But Ethan heard. I did too. Ethan stood so suddenly his chair crashed. "I've carried this family while you've wasted space." His finger jabbed toward me. "Ethan, please," Mom begged. But Clara cracked. "Stop pretending, Ethan! You've been taking Dad's money behind his back for months. You think no one noticed?" Dad's face snapped toward her. "What did you say?" The room froze. Ethan's face went red. "Shut your mouth, Clara." Clara's voice trembled, but she kept going. "Don't act like you're the savior. You've been bleeding this family dry." I finally spoke, calm and low. "Interesting. When thieves fight, they start exposing each other." The table shook with silence. Then I leaned forward. And we're just getting started. The memory hit me hard. I was 15. Ethan, 18. We both worked on a school science project. My design, my late nights, my sleepless effort. At the award ceremony, the trophy was handed to Ethan. My name never mentioned. Dad clapped Ethan on the back. "That's my boy." Mom hugged him, tears of joy in her eyes. And me? I stood in the back, soaking wet from the rain I had run through just to be there on time. My shirt clung cold to my skin, but no one noticed. Only Clara met my eyes that night. She knew the truth. She stayed quiet. She's still quiet now. Clara snapped. "Stop blaming Adam. Dad, tell them the truth." Dad's fist slammed the table. "Enough! The lodge!" she screamed. "Grandpa didn't leave it to you, Dad. It was Adam's. The will was changed." Mom gasped. Tears spilled down her face. Ethan stared at Dad. "Is she lying?" My father's silence was the answer. I leaned forward slowly. "I've known. For years. You forged it, didn't you, Dad? You stole what was mine and gave Ethan the crown." Mom broke down sobbing. "Richard, you promised no one would ever find out." "And Ethan?" His jaw dropped. He wasn't the golden boy. He was the pawn. Voices exploded. Ethan cursed. Clara cried. Mom begged forgiveness. Dad shouted until his face turned purple. I sat still. Calm. Finally, I stood. My chair scraped against the floor. "I gave you my silence all these years," I said. "But tonight, I give you the truth. You built this family on lies. Lies you fed yourselves and lies you forced me to swallow." Clara whispered, "Adam, I'm sorry. I should have told you." I looked at her, the only one who showed a sliver of guilt. "Sorry doesn't fix years of silence." Ethan lunged toward me, but Dad held him back. For the first time, I saw fear in Ethan's eyes. I walked toward the door. "You'll keep fighting," I said, turning back once. "That's all you know, but I won't be here to watch." "Don't you dare walk out," Dad roared. I smiled faintly. "You stole everything from me. Tonight, I take myself back." Clara reached for me, tears streaking her face. "Please, Adam, don't leave like this." I paused, then shook my head. "I'll leave however I want, for once." The door shut behind me. The night air was sharp, cool. It felt like freedom. Weeks later, I stood outside the lodge. My lodge. The papers were finally mine. The mountains stretched tall behind it, silent and steady. Everything my family wasn't. My phone buzzed with messages. "Ethan, you'll regret this." "Mom, please come home." "Clara, I'm sorry." I didn't reply. For the first time, I wasn't carrying their weight. Revenge hadn't healed me, but truth had freed me. "They took my silence," I whispered. "They won't take my peace." If you were in my place, would you forgive, or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Subscribe for more emotional stories, like if Adam's silence and revenge hit home. Comment your thoughts, because healing begins when voices are finally heard.